Good morning. So a couple of jobs to do today. Back on the Project S-Type, we're looking to change out this tie rod end here. See, it's connected to the steering gaiter over there. Got a 22mm nut there, and we've got an 18mm nut there. And also, because there's a ball joint here, it'll be needed to be secured by using an Allen key just in the top there to stop the ball joint spinning around whilst we're trying to get the nut off. I've also noticed here we need to secure this bit. I'm actually going to use a 13mm spanner on here. That just stops the track rod or tie rod from moving around or spinning around or stressing out the ball joint. And then for the nut we need to undo, it's going to be a 22, and literally anti-clockwise for that whilst holding it in place with the 13. And then once we've done that, we can then turn our attention to the 18mm nut, the Allen key, and removing this tie rod end. Also on today's episode, sounds like a soap drama, it's almost a drama with me. We're also going to be using this great stuff here. This is Dinitrol, this is the cavity protection spray. I've got a whole box of that, and I'll be using that to do the sills. As you know from previous episodes, we've taken care of the holes with some welding. We've also prepared the pinch weld seam with some jello lights, and also then covered in stone chip guard spray. So now this is all really about making sure that we can take care of the inner part of the sills. And you can see along here there are plenty of access holes for me to get a special spray adapter in there, so it can really soak the inside cavity of the sill, which is really good news from a rust protection point of view. So we'll be looking to do that today as well. But meanwhile, let's get stuck in with this tie rod end, and hopefully I've already sprayed up the nuts with some penetrating fluid, so hopefully they should be easier to get off, and certainly a damn sight easier than the rear tie rods we battled with the other week. That's actually come off quite reasonably, so let's just back that off. I wonder if I could do that with my fingers. Oh, not quite. Okay, no problem. Let's keep that moving. And I want to make plenty of space because I'm going to mark up the thread with some tape, so I know when I start backing off this tie rod end, I'll know exactly the position it needs to go back on, or the new one needs to go back on. It's a little bit stiffer because I think the it's a little bit rusty. Maybe I should have given it a rub over with some one of the wire brushes, but it's coming back okay at the moment. It's manageable. The other thing we'll do is we'll count the number of turns to remove the tie rod end, as well as using some tape on the thread here to mark the position. Let's keep going with this in the meantime. Really importantly, don't let this arm move around, as you could end up damaging the steering rack, or if you're not actually replacing the ball joints, you could actually damage the ball joint. As it happens, we are replacing the whole tie rod end, so I've got that as a decent gap by winding that all the way back, that nut. So now what I'm going to do is just get some tape. I'm just using some regular masking tape here. I just want to use this to get a measure of just so I can get the right place. There we go. Let's try and get this in here without twisting the tape too much. Could have done this a little bit neater, but it will do, I think. I just want to get a marker in place so that when I come to put the new track rod end in, we know how far it's got to go. I think I might be okay. Just in here. So hopefully when I back this off, I'll count the number of turns, but I've got a bit of tape in place there to help me just align things just in case. Okay, so I've got my long-armed 18mm ratchet spanner. I'm going to insert the Allen key just in here to hold ball joint in place. There we go. So hopefully this won't be too stiff. Oh, here she comes. So now I need to hold the Allen key in place just to stop the ball joint spinning around. But that's now coming off fairly easy. So I'll just get that done and then carry on. And there we go. That's come out quite nicely. So now all we need to do is count the number of turns to undo this tie rod end. Okay. So one, 2, 3, 20, 21. So here's the new one, and all I'm going to do is screw that in, and then I'll be able to pop it through here once we've got the right number of turns in place on the track rod end. Clockwise, so here 1, 2, 3, 20 and 21, which actually matches the position of the tape quite well. Unscrew that. This has already been lubed up, by the way, and then we should be good to place in here. There we go. Put this on. So we'll be looking to put about 100 Newton meters on here. So I'll just get on with my 18mm and also the Allen key and crack on with putting that on. Okay, so the new nut that's replacing the old one for this new arm is actually 19 rather than 18. So that's quite curious, but I'm not complaining about a larger nut. So I'm just going to feed in the Allen key, which I hope is the same size. There we go, that's got it. And then we'll just start doing this up. Right, here we go. I'm just going to tighten this up to around 100. I'm just going to feel for that. There we go. So I'm just going to remove the tape. It served its purpose. So here we go. Let's hold that in place. Let's tighten that up. Okay, let's just tighten this up to about, must be about 50 on here. Done. You'll see we've got some movement there, which is what we want, but we know that this is nice and tight. 50 newton meters, that's all good. Okay, right hand side is now done. Same procedure as before, just loosening off the 22mm nut there, holding the rod with a 13mm spanner, releasing this, having the Allen key at the top here, releasing that, dropping that down, and then unscrewing that, remembering to count the number of turns and also to tape up as a bit of a mark guide as to how far to screw back on. New ones here look a lot better, no cracked gaiters or anything like that. The arm's corrosion free, so the remaining task to be done once everything else is sorted out in the car is to take it down, get it subjected to a four-wheel alignment. I'm not too worried about the front tyres on this because they're old and mismatched, so it doesn't matter if they scuff a little bit on the way down to the four-wheel alignment centre. But I'm pretty happy with that. So here's the left-hand side upside down and the right-hand side over here. And if I just come in close, you can see how bad that is. That's an MoT foul, surely. And then also on this side as well, you can see all the cracking. So all the grime and dirt and water is going to get in there and destroy the ball bearing, or the ball joint, should I say. So I'm quite pleased to get these off and replace them with the new ones. So I've taken the opportunity to spray the chassis legs as well. So got a good coating inside as well as the inner and outer sill just here. And now I'm going to move on to some of the cavities around here as well. Okay, here we go. Down in here. All the way down. Oops, it's got it. Here we go. All good. Just on the top there. Right, let's get some Dinitrol in the door. Well, both sides have been done now, including the two doors. Neat little trick I discovered is if you just insert the long dispenser at one end of the door through one of the drain holes and push it all the way through, and then slowly pull it back whilst expelling the Dinitrol solution, then as long as you see Dinitrol pouring out the other end, then you know you've got a good coverage on the doors. It just saves having to completely remove the rubber trim. I've been careful to make sure that anything that's got a cavity under here in the wheel arches around here has all been done with Dinitrol, and the same towards the rear as well. Anything that's got a access hole has been Dinitrolled, which is great. And as I say, I've done the seals, inner seal, outer seal, and you can see probably from the mess on the drive, the black patches, that's all the Dinitrol oozing out of the doors, and the also the seals as well. So I'm pretty pleased with that. For reference, I was able to get through 3 cans of Dinitrol, and that's done the inner and outer seals and also any sort of cavities around each wheel arch as well, plus it's done all 4 doors. So I have a 4th can that I've not used yet, but that's kind of just in case there's any other bits that crop up. So that's pretty much it.